Welcome to Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today I'm gonna show you an interesting product that is very, very handy, and you should definitely get one. I just bought one for me. This one is called the Magic Palette Color Matching Guide. It kind of looks like an old school PMS book, but it's not. And anybody who's a graphic designer or printing or something like that will know exactly what I'm talking about. But this one is actually composed of color cards that are mixtures from like the 36 most popular colors. And it tells you which ones they are, like dioxazine purple, ultra blue, cobalt blue, Prussian, ivory black, you know, like it has them all listed here. So it tells you how these colors were arrived at. This is useful, directly useful, if these are the family of colors that you all always use. Now, sometimes yes and sometimes no. I mean, it doesn't mean that all of these are going to be directly things that you use, but it's going to come close. But the big thing that I like about this is that it has these little windows, these little color windows. And you're like, yeah, so, but give me a second here. I'll explain why this is great. Now, you've heard me go on long tangential sermons about having color cards. Now, color cards are little pieces of the paper that you use the most frequently, so the surface that you're most used to, with the colors that you always keep in your library. So here for my palette, I have color cards for each of these things that I use like all the time on the paper that I use the most frequently, which for watercolor would be Kilimanjaro 140 pound or Kilimanjaro 300 pound. The weight's irrelevant. The surface is what you're dealing with. And most of the time I do use bright white. And the reason I advocate for you to do that is so that you have a accurate reference of the colors that you use the most often when you're working, to put next to what you're doing to see, okay, do I want to darken this? Do I want to take it up a notch? Is this the color I want to put next to it and stuff like that? And you have an exact match for the color that you're actually using directly from your palette. This is pretty close. This is going to hit a lot of the marks, and for the money, this is going to save you lots of time. Now, am I saying that this is to be used without color cards? No, I would really advocate that you do a set of color cards and that you have this as well. But here is where this is extremely handy. Now, especially with watercolor, as you know, your watercolor will look darker when it's wet and then it dries back lighter. So when you're working on it, things look like much more dramatic and, you know, have a lot more oomph than they actually translate to when it's dry. And so I have a perfect example here. Like, this is one that I'm working from, and it's a terrible printout, but I'm not worried about that. But what this is great for is, as you can see, I've got some really, really interesting, like, color mixes, like purples and teal and, you know, soft blues and stuff like this. Well, in here, this has got a lot of, you know, contrast, and I need to have these darks in order to make these really, really high key whites punch up. And here, it may look like I have a fairly accurate, you know, blue in here, but when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this compared to my reference photo. When you bring it over here and you put that window on there, I'm not close at all. I got quite a ways to go in terms of getting this to the kind of value that I need so that all my whites punch. Because if these are soft and they're muted and they don't have that rich darkness, the whites are not going to pop. And so you lose that contrast and that visual interest, and also your focal point, because that's where it resides, right there, your darkest darks and your lightest lights. This is a very, very handy tool. This is just a few bucks, and this is a really good deal. And so I would tell you to definitely take a look at the Magic Palette Color Matching Guide. It is a handy studio tool. It will accelerate what you're doing because you're going to be able to see accurately the choices, the decisions, the colors that you're choosing more accurately and get you there faster. So we hope that you enjoy.